Go. Ok, benvenuti su Board Game Machine, lo streaming network italiano. Questa sera abbiamo un ospite d'eccezione che tra poco molti di noi conosceranno molto bene dal vivo. Welcome to Board Game Machine streaming channel. We have a special guest tonight, Mr. Jay Middlecote. Did I spell it correctly?
You did a better job of that than most of my teachers at school. So yeah, excellent.
Cool. Jay is head referee of WTC tournament. I met him last summer, first time. But this is a story I would like to introduce a bit later. Thank also to Orfeo, who is the boy upstairs on top of this guy, English guy below. Ciao Orfeo.
Grazie. Ciao.
Grazie. Ho detto ciao, che dici?
Mi sono
I told
subito
you
corretto.
hi, you can't say
come
thank you.
Fuori luogo. Hi, and thank you for having me.
So Jay,
bringing some culture to this, that's all.
I would like to introduce you to our community, which is watching you, I guess, in a curious mood. I was really fascinated by the description of your person in the WTC website. It seems a legend, maybe it's reality, or maybe it's something in the middle code. I don't know. It says you once wrestled the bear.
Oh no.
I had no idea.
What is this? This might be interesting for our players if they behave in a wrong way, I guess.
Yeah, Neil knows the story, like the actual story of this. To keep it very brief, a long time ago, over 20 years ago, to make a living, I used to wrestle. Like Hulk Hogan and The Rock and all that sort of thing. Okay.
Wow.
And I made a bad living out of it. It was very, very small money. So I used to cage fight as well to help supplement my income. And the story about wrestling a bear, to not spoil it, really, like if anyone wants to know the punchline, then you can ask me in person. But I was told a week before it happened that the next week I was going to wrestle a bear.
Wow.
And no, this is not happening. No. And the following week I was told, today you're wrestling a bear. What bear? No. And it was somebody in a bear costume. So there we go. You can get the rest of the story on stream sometime.
Okay.
And
it's amazing already. I mean, I can't wait to know more.
Come and find me at the Italian Masters and I'll tell you the story. There you go.
I can't wait to meet you in person.
So from that activity to 40K, how you did the jump?
Oh, there was a lot in between. I was a chef, I was a barman, I worked in an office, I worked in a call center, I did loads of different things. And along the way, I was sort of in and out of playing miniature war games. So when I could afford to, I would play Warhammer. And the job I was at about 3 years or so ago, all of my department got made redundant. We all lost our jobs. And at the time, I'd been streaming for a couple of years. I'd been painting commissions for 4 or 5 years by that point. And I thought, you know what? I've worked here long enough that I've got a good sort of amount of money, a good package, a good settlement. Why not give it a go full time? And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me. So that's how we did this and got into all this.
Cool. But did I get it correctly? You also were a chef.
Yes.
You know, we in Italy love this kind of things.
Oh, yes. I am very much looking forward to the food culture that you have in Italy.
And what is your horrors when you cook? Which is your horrors? I mean, your best dish?
This is going to annoy every one of your community that's watching this. One of my favorite things to eat is lasagna.
Lasagna, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Except my lasagna is very different to an Italian lasagna, and my lasagna exists to get the most possible amount of cheese into me as it can be. So very different to a traditional Italian lasagna.
So it's a cheese lasagna.
It's mostly cheese, to be honest, mate. It's a little bit of meat and a tiny bit of pasta, but it's mostly cheese.
Okay, we'll make a contest one day.
You can educate me properly.
No, I'm not a cook, so I guess I will not be able to teach you anything.
Okay.
Anyway, so last summer we met in Mechelen. It was a beautiful tournament, full of people from all over the world, and this must be really difficult to referee because you need to find a way to communicate with people
Mhm.
and get their respect and things like this. And we saw you, I would say, in action, and we were impressed by your efforts to have the tournament run smoothly.
Thank you.
And so we asked your collaboration for our trials, which this year will be 192 people. Usually we don't have so many people, but all of the people wanted to meet you, so thank you for making it a success. We also have a female team that's for no, now I'm kidding, of course. And so you will be our head referee too, and together with Orfeo you will administer our tournament. I would like Orfeo to ask you some
Sure.
things concerning your mutual job at this moment. So Orfeo, maybe you can help me to make Jay intelligent questions, at least more intelligent than mine.
Okay. Let's hope you ask the right person. So, first of all, I would like to thank you because in this like during these weeks you helped me a lot, especially concerning a few different aspects of how we should manage this event.
My pleasure.
A lot of issues I am expecting to meet at the event, as I already mentioned you um, in private messages, is like how to act both responsibly but sensibly about the managing of the what you see is what you get standard for miniatures. I get like 5 to 6 different messages, questions regarding if the models are up to that standard. Should I paint it more? Is this conversion good enough? What do you think? So this is one of the things I expect to have the most problems on, especially the first day in the first game, which is when the players are heated the most. I mean, the event just started. And I am trying to be as helpful as I can be to the players. Again, helping them improving the miniatures. Shouldn't those be up to the WYSIWYG standard? But would you like to share with us some thoughts about what the approach should be from the players going to the event regarding their miniatures, and what should they do should they find problems in their opponent's miniatures?
Okay, so the first thing really is about the attitude of a player before the event. For me, it's very important that when you're playing a game like 40k, when there is a set time limit on the game, not just a friendly game in your own house, then it's very important that things are clear and very obvious. And the reason why things need to be WYSIWYG is because that way there's no confusion that could happen at the table. And I believe it's your responsibility as the player to be a good sport and ensure that your opponent is never put in that position. And you need to think about that before the event happens. So if you're a player, if you're attending a tournament, it's your responsibility to ensure that everybody else will have tried their best to get to that standard. And it's up to you to keep the bar high. You know, nobody wants to go to a tournament where somebody says, "Oh, here's my death company. The ones with red bases have Inferno pistols." It's just that you then look at the death company, and the ones with red bases aren't even death company. You know, that's I've seen that. I've literally had to play that game.
Okay.
You know, nobody wants that.
I agree.
But when it comes to a player who's at a table and their opponent has stuff that isn't WYSIWYG, then there shouldn't be. I know a lot of people are very paranoid about calling a judge for this because, from their perspective, like, well, if I do, I'm not being a good sport, and But really, neither is your opponent. Okay, they've chosen, so they've made a choice, whether they ran out of time, they did something else instead of what they should have been doing to prepare for the event. If they didn't have the right model and it wasn't approved, they chose not to get it approved. And you know, they've made decisions that's led to that point. So you shouldn't be afraid of speaking to a judge and saying, listen, my opponent does not have a WYSIWYG army. Can we get some help to arrive at a conclusion where this is easy for us both? And when it is 10 minutes before the end of the round and I'm trying to get my fifth turn in and I cannot make a mistake, if I make a mistake, I will lose the game. I don't have the chance of being confused. And that's the conversation to have. And that's the attitude to have in that conversation as well.
Okay, thank you. Also, not being scared of calling judges at the table. It's something we are really trying to communicate to the whole player base, because we just started to have, let's say, a referee system here in Italy. Myself, I try to judge as many events as possible. This past year, I attended like more than 11. And
nice.
the thing is, I am trying to teach players that it is not an act of violence toward your opponent to call for a judge, because most of the times is also the most time-efficient way.
Do you know how he wrestled when he was a young? It could be an act of violence.
No. We won't get to that stage, I'm sure.
We hope. Because again, it is not an act of violence. It could be the most time-efficient way to resolve an issue, to solve an issue, and it could be the best way for both players to reach an agreement about what's happening, just
Absolutely.
to make things clear. Yes, and so I appreciate you saying that, because it's something I'm very passionate about. It's something I am trying to enforce.
No, it's absolutely the right thing. The job of a referee is not to be like Judge Dredd and turn up and summary execute somebody at the table. That's not what we're there for. A referee's job is to ensure that fair play is being done all the time, that you're playing with the same rules as everybody else. We're there to help solve disputes so the players don't have to. So if there is a dispute at a table, if two players just aren't getting along and maybe their personality is different, we can be there to help settle it. Understanding conflict management as a referee is very important. Understanding the rules to help guide somebody through and explain why the rule is the way it is important. That's the job of a referee. Just want to point out that the job of a referee is not to be a search engine for your rules, though. People should still be looking up their own rules, but we can help you understand them if you don't understand them.
That is true. Check at least once. Try to find what you're searching for.
If somebody asks me a question without the rule book in their hand or the app or whatever, the first response is going to be, "Have you looked it up yet?"
Yeah. And also, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly, we will have at least 2 volunteers, at least 2 other judges, which will help us manage the event, if I recall correctly.
Yes, 2 more people.
Okay.
I would say 2 more people and a half.
Okay.
Because we will have an anchor man. who will speak during the streaming of the first row,
Okay.
but he will not speak all the time, and during pauses he will help on the tables with the tables nerdy.
Nice.
This would have been the perfect moment to say something bizarre, like the bear story. Like, we will be 2.5. You will have 2.5 more staff, because I was expecting something like that.
I will think I will bring some stuff to cook also.
Excellent.
with a mobile kitchen.
We could do a cooking stream, no problem. Just don't ask me to make pasta, because I will offend all of your countrymen. I'm sorry.
Cool. I would like to ask you a question, Jay, from my player point of view.
Okay.
Did you ever needed to red card anybody during the tournament, and why, and which could lead to this kind of situations? What could lead to this kind of situations?
So the only time it's ever happened where I've had to ask somebody to leave and given a red card was at last year's WTC, which is a story that I believe you're familiar with,
Yeah.
and we probably don't need to talk about that.
No,
right?
we all know this story very
So,
well. But
effectively, for anyone who doesn't know the story,
I was asking for a second witness.
no, that's my only time it's happened. But to gloss over the details of the story, because it doesn't need to be brought up. Effectively, one player let their passion sort of take over, right? And they made a decision that was a bit silly. They did something that a rational adult, being rational, would never do. And that's the kind of situation where if something is going to happen, you're going to get a red card. It's normally something like that. It's somebody has become very emotional about something and let that get out of control, and that's caused a situation where them leaving the event is the only real option that you can give. So, keep a level head. At the end of the day, as much as we all absolutely love the competitive side of 40K and we all want to win, because I want to win everything that I ever do, and I understand that in players, it is a game of toy soldiers.
Yes.
And we must remember that whilst it can be serious, it needs to be dealt with in an adult way when you're playing against other adults.
But we are not adults.
I haven't grown up at
We-
all. I'm basically
we-
Peter Pan, but fat, and I can't fly. So
We are kids jailed in adults' body,
yes.
at least for what concerns me. How old are you, Jay?
40. I'm nearly 41.
41.
Yeah, this is
year you
grey
will
in
be
my beard. I
41.
don't dribble toothpaste, so
I'm 49, almost 50.
yeah, you wear it well.
I should retire. Should. Orfeo, what can we ask to our war boss?
As I was saying, we will have at least two. Now I know 2.5 people that will help us manage the event. And from what I get for them is at least for one of them, but I would say both. It's almost a new experience. I'm trying to make this a teaching. How can I say it in English? I'm sorry, my English is a little bit rusty. I'm trying to make it
A referee school.
yeah, something like that, because
Excellent.
knowing there's gonna be you, I wanted to include at least the people I know are interested in being part of the project. So I'm trying this to be a teaching experience. So do you have something to tell them in order to prepare for the event? It's the first. I know for sure it's the first time they're going to judge for more than 100 people.
Okay. It's not really any different than judging for 10 people. The queries will be the same. The things that come up will be the same. The difference is there'll be more of it, so you'll be busy. So the first bit of advice I can give to any referee that's going to referee 3 games of 40k in a day, or more or less, but a lot of games, is to make sure that you've looked after yourself. Get a good night's sleep, eat a good breakfast, stay hydrated. All of these things do one thing, and that's help you think. And all of 40k is a thinking game. Whether it's playing the game or discussing the rules of the game, you have to have a clear head. So that's my first bit of advice. Look after yourself to make sure you can do the job that you need to do. Be as familiar with the rules as you can. Like, no one will be able to memorize every single rule of every faction in 40k. But if you know the core rules, you know the FAQs, you know the rules commentary, and you understand at least the sort of overall sort of army rules and faction rules for some of the armies that you'll see on the table, that goes a long way to making sure that you can get into the game and have a reasonably good idea of what's going on. And the third thing, this is probably the biggest bit of advice, I guess. When you get to a table, speak to both players. Understand the situation from both people. Don't go into it trying to immediately come up with the answer super quick, because you will probably get it wrong at least once, and that will be potentially like disastrous for a team. So be rational. Take the time that you need to take to get to the right decision. Sometimes one player will see things one way and one player will see things another way. So make sure you also have that discussion with both players at the table, not just randomly somewhere else around the hall.
This is a very simple hint, but really effective.
Unuseful one.
Most of it's simple.
Because
it all comes down to common sense.
Yes, because you are usually I refereed, of course, small tournaments, and not often I did this procedure. Maybe I was told the story by one of the two players, and who knows? Maybe I took the wrong decision.
It happens. We've all done it. The reason I know to do that is because I've made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, can happen. Jay, we know you are a streamer. You do online lessons.
Yes.
For people who follow you. We know in about few minutes you will be running a lesson to one of your, I would say fans.
Students.
I would say students. That's the correct term. And what do you teach exactly?
So the course I run for people, it's a one-to-one basis, usually with Discord, is the Airbrush Next Steps and Special Effects sort of program that I've created. I am a commission painter. I have painted for a long time, and the airbrush is a tool that a lot of people use, and some people use at a very low level and need a little bit of encouragement to go past that level into the sort of same realms that I would use an airbrush for. And so we start off with usually a Space Marine, because they're very simple to paint, they're very open, and almost everyone's got a little Space Marine sat in a box somewhere, so easy enough, right? And we go through that process. We'll start with the airbrush work, we'll move into the rest of your base coats and teach techniques like glazing, layering, blending, everything you'd want to take a miniature from sort of battle ready to something that could be something that would go on to win Best Painted.
Cool. And which is the name of your, I guess you have a channel. How can people follow you?
So I'm Mohawk Miniatures pretty much everywhere on the internet. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all the usual social media stuff. I stream on Twitch 5 days a week. The only times I don't stream are Mondays and Fridays, which is when I teach. And we stream both evenings and daytimes. There's people from all around the world that can join in and watch because of the different time zones that we're streaming in. So we've got a very big, diverse audience. It's great.
So if I give you one miniature to paint, of course, this is not a bribe. Of course,
that's no problem. It's definitely not a bribe, because I'll give you a bill.
Yes, of course. You can bring me this picture, this miniature back the following WTC. Of course, if I will join it. But I could join it the same even if my captain doesn't choose me as a player, because I
Mhm.
can join the War Master event. No, the War Master
Absolutely.
is open. No,
Yes, of course.
so let's make this deal, okay?
Okay.
I will bring you a miniature during our event, and I will choose one. Do you have preferences or anything?
I mean, if you bring me a Warlord Titan, I'm gonna say no, just to get that one out of the way. All right.
No. I mean, my
Anything.
I love Tyranids. I love
Ooh,
Chaos Marines. Oh, demons.
excellent.
Maybe a demon.
Cool. I'm down for all of that.
Okay.
Look at this.
5 days a week, it's quite the commitment.
Yes and no. So it is. But to just segue quickly, one of the reasons that I stopped wrestling was because I had an accident and I fell 15 feet off of a ladder and landed literally headfirst into the ground.
Okay.
And since that time, which was the 12th of September 2003, I have had a headache. And to deal with that, I find I need to focus on things. I could take every painkiller known to man if I wanted to and go down that route, and I did, and I hate the way that makes me feel. So instead, I just focus on things. And so I have to be busy all the time. So for me, that 5 day a week streaming schedule is perfect. It suits my life, basically.
Even now, you still have this situation running?
Yeah, it's been 20 years now. I've had a headache.
I mean,
Wow.
I'm sorry for the accident,
Oh,
but it's really nice the way you managed it. Like
Yeah.
it speaks for the kind of person you are. Like finding a solution, and a solution that I might actually be able to sustain over time. It's I mean, I'm sorry, but it's a story
don't
with a nice
apologize.
conclusion to it.
Yeah,
So
there's a good thing from it, right?
Yeah.
I will give you a new things on which you can focus. Learn Italian language so we can have
I will give that a go, but I am dyslexic, and because of my accident, I've got brain damage, and so learning a language is very difficult for me.
No way. Okay, let's stick on the bribe miniature.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Jay. We know you need to go to prepare for your student. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We will piece you off some more times with questions privately for troubleshooting things.
You've got to go a long way to piss me off, Daniela, so don't worry.
And hopefully we will meet the 1st of December at the airport. And so, thank you for helping us out here for this live stream. I would just like to remember our main partner, which is the store arsmanufactoria.com. It's our main distributor in Italy for 40K related things, but not only this kind of stuff. You can find whichever toy you would like to have in your collection there. Just connect, buy, and wait 24/48 hours. So, Jay, what do you cook this evening? Did you eat already?
No, unfortunately, because of this interview, I'm not eating dinner tonight. So
you're not eating. Okay.
Never mind.
Not to make you
tomorrow, we'll
not to
sort
make you
something
feel
out.
guilty.
Tomorrow you will send a picture of the dish. Okay.
Well, tomorrow my girlfriend is cooking, so we'll see.
Okay. Bye, Jay. Take
Thanks a
care.
lot.
Ciao,
Peace out,
Orfeo.
everyone.
Ciao. Thanks.